Okay, so we're gonna talk a little about strategy for Sky Temple today, and the first two spawns of temples, and some basic positioning things, and a little bit at the end about ending games and the importance of that. Going to start off real quick here at the beginning. A lot of people argue about whether fight over the eye or not. This team did. I think the important part in this is all your minion waves, especially in such a big map, lag behind you quite a bit. Stay grouped together, at least a group of 3 to 5, somewhere either in that mid lane to try to secure a gank on the other team if they just send a single person in, whether you're taking eye or not. If they're taking eye, more than likely they have a group of people there, but they may send somebody mid by themselves. It's all about trying to pull off the early gank and getting in their heads a little bit of psychological game as well. This team obviously went mid and did not get it, but you'll see Vala up here make a really poor decision to try to go through here after she sees the Uther go away, and then we've captured it. So we'll find them go down there. She captures it. Jaina, Uther, Kelpa all collapse on her. She just absolutely wreck her. So we are going to talk about lane splits on here. Obviously, folk are moving, covering lanes as he was coming up. Zeratul at bottom, and you'll see us coalesce here in a minute. Right now, though, Johanna and Jaina are a good match for the Butcher. Really, Johanna in general is going to be a good match for the Butcher with the blind. He's not going to be able to get much done. Kelthos and Uther have lots of damage to put out on them. Unless the Nazeebo lands a nice zombie ring, it's going to be hard for them to get any damage. And that Uther is just going to farm orbs and the healing. They'll probably be fairly okay to survive out through all of that. So right now our first temples have come up, and we're going to pause here in a few seconds and talk about mid or top temple. So what we have here is the question came out mid or top, and they pointed out mid. Top sometimes protects you a little bit more from ganks if you've pushed this lane a little bit. It's farther away from their bottom lane. Mid, they can collapse from top and bottom on you, but there's a real important thing that you should really try to prioritize a mid temple for. And that's because if you capture the whole temple, you will take out this mid healing shrine right here. And what that does is later in the map, especially on the second set of the second temple that spawns, is as people move down from the top lanes, they're having to deviate all the way back or hearth back all the way to their base, which increases their travel time to get down to the bottom. It just helps you keep more pressure on them. Throughout the game, as people are moving up and back and forth, top to bottom, they're going to be missing on the shrine. They're going to have to move around a lot. You see, we collapse 3 down here, they send 1, they focus kind of up top, and we're able to force them out fairly easily. And we're going to keep this going right here. So we're going to capture mid. These guys are going to start moving back up towards us. And you see Uther move down towards the middle. Your tank can generally tank the temples all by themselves with very little assistance to no assistance. The very first temple, they're going to need a little bit help to kill this big guy up here, but after that you can almost leave him alone and you can go out to the lanes. One thing a lot of people miss on this is when they go into the they send all 4 or 5 guys right into the middle of the temple and miss out on all this lane experience right down here. You can spare one person to go down the lane and collect that experience. It'll help you get a level lead on them, as well as serve as a lookout if somebody does start coming up for you, and push this lane just a little bit. You know, more minions out there means more damage. So you're going to have up here a really bad decision by them. They have 3 guys top, and Lily and Butcher decided to try to contest middle. They've just scared off seeing a Uther and a Zeratul in there, and they see 3 people on the temple itself. And this Lily decides to initiate, and this Butcher decides to dive as well, with full knowledge that there are 5 heroes there. This is not going to turn out well for them. You're going to see a blizzard pop up here, a stun come down on Butcher so he can't heal, and the Butcher's going to blow up. The lead is going to get heavily abused and not die.
Hero slain.
We capture the rest of this. Really tries to defend off that lane a little bit. She's lots of self-sustain. She goes full Serpent build on this as well. And you see Uther comes up just to gather experience from that lane. They're almost a full half level ahead now, just from collecting the experience from the lanes and
The
one
magic
kill.
of the temple sleep.
So one thing to note is that last shot went off at about 310. With that, your next set of temples, which is always going to appear on the bottom area, is going to come exactly 2 minutes after that. One thing you want to time is your camps. You would like to have your camps pushing while you and the other team is fighting here. Either they're going to do work taking out towers and pushing lanes, or it's also at the most going to distract the other team to go back there and defend, allowing you to secure the bottom temple. One other thing we'll note on here as well is we have all 5 of their heroes came to defend the mid. This really small wave of minions. They came down from the top. Really, they left nobody up here to push or even try to contest this top lane, which is going to let us push it out a little ways and regain control of that lane. Additionally, Johanna's already down soaking this lane. Jada's coming back, but we're not going to be able to soak much experience out there. We can actually wait and rotate somebody down, wait for their minions to come closer towards our side of the lane. So we're going to gain in soak experience right now, and they're grouped up and they're losing out on that. Speed it up here just a tad for folks. This is Kel'Thas gets caught a little bit.
Hero slain.
And you can make it deal with that zombies.
Hero slain.
So right now it's about a minute afterwards, and it's a little bit early to start this camp unless you're going to have to try to solo it. But what you want to do is capture this camp and give it time so that this lane is pushing, and allows you maybe keep one person up there, but allows your guys to rotate down, capture this camp right about the same time that this is actually activating. So your folks are going to have pressure on the top lane. That'll keep some of their guys there. Rotate down, capture these, put pressure on the bottom lane while you're capturing this, force them to defend, and lets you basically let your tank sit on the temple while the rest of your team can push through and claim this whole fort. That's not exactly what happens here. Right now, Kel'Thas does want to come help, so the Uther's expecting help, and Kel'Thas almost gets picked off. But once everybody does come help, you see the text message come out. They blow this thing up incredibly fast. So right now it's about 40 seconds out to capture it, and it's pushed all the way. They'll be able to push the lane back. Marks will be able to do work. Luckily, the Zeratul will catch the Evo out, and the Lily doesn't quite get away. And she decides she wants to fight. As Evo goes down, she doesn't heal in his Evo, and the ball is going to beat her. Lily's going to get caught out. So right now, they got some deaths. It's bad for them, but 3 members of our team are at half life, half mana, and at the complete opposite end of the map. After we captured that, we didn't necessarily have to go with those kills. We probably would have been more productive coming down here, because right now we're outnumbered a little bit. This is really interesting how this works out. Muradin decides to sit in there, and he actually gets an Envenom from Jaina placed on him, which you see his life besides all the rest of the chill damage go down and blow him up. Not something he was expecting. Ball almost goes down as well. It's a good start. That kill on Muradin gave us the time and breathing room to secure this bottom lane. Right now, 4-2 on them. Our Zero Tools coming back down as well. Our Mercs, they've completely drained all the ammo, which will allow us probably get the wall and tower at some point up here. Just kind of cool with positioning. The tank and solo it, the damage will go down to help them a little bit, but really myself and Zero Tool is keeping vision on them so we know when they dive, so when we need to start doing our job. Right now we have a 2-level lead up from them as well, so they probably don't need to be attacking this.
Your word is upside down.
So this is when they dive. We react. You'll notice positioning's pretty good on this. Uther and Johanna in the front line, our mages in the back line, and they ran in way too early. They've got panicked from the laser shots. They're outnumbered. Their Muradin is 5 seconds out, and their Lili is the one that's initiating. Here you'll see the Butcher start his charge into Jaina in the back, which causes us to react, but with our stuns and blinds, we're going to be able to hit fairly easily. He almost gets Jaina. The stuns come down to self-damage, the heals go out. Jaina tries to get out, and they're chasing after our squishies now. Our Zeratul finally reacted, is going to kill their Lili in the back. Uther is going to do some great positioning to block any stuns that come out, and then the mage is going to turn around and use a choke point right here, and all the damage come down to Zeratul are going to get some kills.
Hero slain.
From here, so that's our first 2 temples. Obviously, tank and solo it. We go out and get camps. We end up getting the boss as well, but we're actually going to fast forward a little bit to look at ending the game. This will obviously be a situation where we didn't end the game, but certainly could have in this one. It probably would have been a better choice to try to do it there. Ending the game is a lot about death timers. How long the enemy team is out and do you have a fort down. You don't need to take down every single fort and keep on the map, every single tower to win the game. Recognizing your win condition is destruction of their core. So as soon as you have an opportunity to do that, you should take it. Longer games go on, the more chances it causes the other team to get more powerful, make mistakes, and the experience gaps between your levels later are much smaller, or much greater. So it's easier to catch up. They're 21 is the equivalent of several of your lower levels. So your power level is going to flatten out a lot more with the other team the later in the game you go. We're going to be going to a position right after winning a temple where we have taken out their bottom keep.
My temple.
And after taking that out, they had kind of overextended all their teams up. But there's all 5 of us chasing a Muradin and an Evala. There's their teams coming down to help them. This almost turned into a disaster for our team, but did not. So let's go through this. Paul has a great ultimate. People have a great ultimate. Nice constant way to raise a lot of ultimates. But we end up turning around the fight. They end up running a bunch of bad positions and we can't heal anybody. Butcher dies. They all are out. So Lili's up. It's a damage to Lili, but not a ton. And their team is down for 30 to 42 seconds. We have half mana, half life, but at this point, we are going to have Mercs with us. We could have gone in through and finished the core. Uther could have kept Johanna up. The mages could have stayed in the back, just dropping damage in the core, and we could have finished the game right here. There's some indecision right now at the moment.
The
They
red
do
team's
it, but they end
core
up going
is
back to the
being
boss, and the
earthed.
game ends up lasting another 10 minutes and actually lose. The blue team ends up winning the match, but they lose a few small team fights and skirmishes along the way, and not nearly as dominating as they were in the early game. Had they dove core right here, they probably could have won. But that's it for our map today. A little bit of strategy discussion around the first temples in Sky Temple.